Chapter 4. Accessories. Feliciano, you didn't tell me how you did on the exam, Elisabetta whispered as Mr. Edelstein played a piece of music on the piano. She deeply enjoyed listening to Mr. Edelstein's music, but right now she was worried for her friend. Well, it was quite difficult, but Mr. Barishman offered to give me accessories after the class. Okay, accessories here must mean, extra lessons, because in the United States they just mean, fashion accessories. Why so British? Really, you must be very happy, Elisabetta whispered back. Oui, but I am also nervous, said Feliciano, trying to be quiet, but failing when Mr. Edelstein looked up from his piano and scolded him. Mr. Vargas, please remain from talking during the lesson. Music can't be appreciated while you are constantly chatting with your friend. Mr. Edelstein could get easily mad if disturbed while performing in the piano. Performing in the piano! Well, that is quite a sight. My apologies, sir. It was my fault. Elisabetta quickly apologized. Elisabetta, you don't have to cover for your friend. He is indeed a natural artist, but it gives him no right to talk during the lesson, explained Mr. Edelstein. Yes, sir, both teens replied at the same time. Then let us continue. You two, try the new melody one more time, barked Mr. Edelstein. Feliciano was glad Elisabetta encouraged him to join the music club. Aside from being a music lover, he was pleased to witness how his friend turned into another person during the lessons. She diligently attended on time and assisted Professor Edelstein in whatever he needed for the club. She always showed great enthusiasm, which earned her flatters and some smiles of her favorite teacher. That's exactly how he felt about Ludwig. He was willing to treat Elisabetta the same way that she treated him about his crush. Looks like every German speaker in this story is going to get laid. Ooh, ooh. Romano! Feliciano ran up and hugged his brother from behind. The older Italian was caught off guard and yelled at him in response. Idiot, do not treat me in that way in school. Don't call me Romano while we're at school. Just then, Mr. Fernandez decided to come out of the classroom. Oh, how cute! I thought you weren't a loving big brother, Romano. I always knew I was wrong, gushed Mr. Fernandez. Mind your own business. He was quickly cut off by Mr. Fernandez. Romano, remember what we talked about this week? You must respect your teachers. Then stop intruding in my life, Romano yelled back. He seemed as annoyed as ever. Okay, I'm sorry then. Then Antonio turned to Feliciano. And what's your name? I'm Felici. There you go again. Leave us alone, you fool. Romano grabbed his brother by the arm and dragged him away. Feliciano knew his brother well. He could see that he was being jealous, but why? Mr. Fernandez shouted at them from the hallway. Adios, Romanito. Nos vemos mañana en clase. Que tengas un día bonita. Nailed it. He got no reply, though. Fratello, you shouldn't reply to Mr. Fernandez in that way. You could get in trouble, Feliciano scolded. Shut up, estupido. What do you know? Grandpa will get mad at you. It's not my fault, dammit. He was always the one bothering me. He seems like a nice person. He's always smiling. He's an idiot. Now stop talking about him. Okay, then. Tsundere. They were silent for a couple of minutes until Feliciano said, Romano, you do know that he's the only Spanish teacher that gives 3 courses, right? What? Damn fucking bastard! Romano cursed as he kicked a small rock near his shoe that somehow got indoors. Watch your language, kid. A grave, accented voice said from behind the Italians. When they faced the voice, it was Mr. Oxenstierna, the scariest teacher in the entire school. He was a tall, blond man dressed in a deep blue suit. The two frozen Italians just stood there, speechless. Oh, thank God they didn't emit every freaking vowel. I don't want to hear that sort of vocabulary again. The Italians did not move until the teacher continued to walk away. So scary, muttered the both of them. I can't believe he's married to Mr. Vaotino, stated Feliciano. No. Oh, wait, they're both adults. Okay, that's fine. What? How do you know? Romano demanded. Well, Kiku, Romano muttered something that sounded like Asian bastard, is pretty well informed about everything that happens in school. He told me about it. 2 men, Romano thought out loud. How is that even possible? It's called gay, Romano. You're from Italy, how do you not know what gay is? There's nothing weird about it, Romano, reassured Feliciano. What the hell are you saying? Of course it's weird. Feliciano looked away, a little hurt by his brother's words. I think that as long as you love the person, the gender doesn't matter. Bullshit is not natural. Why is Romano so homophobic? This makes no sense. Shut up. Romano was surprised at Feliciano's behavior. It was very strange that Feliciano shouted at him. The younger Italian ran away from his older brother. Wait, Feliciano! Romano's efforts were futile. Feliciano was a really good runner. Ooh. Kiku was worried when Feliciano didn't attend classes, so he asked Elisabetta to help them find their friend. They looked around the school buildings before going outside, where they found him on a bench near the soccer field. Are you all right, Feliciano? Kiko told me you didn't go to class, asked Elisabetta with a sincere smile. I'm okay, I just had a fight with my brother, replied Feliciano as he returned the smile. I guess that explains all the no homo stuff that Romano was doing in the story. I see, do you want to talk about it? Elisabetta asked as she sat beside Feliciano. Well, He couldn't put it into words. Kiku interrupted him as he sat to Feliciano's right. If you don't want to tell us, it's okay. No, I think I don't need to tell somebody, and you are my friends after all, said Feliciano as Elisabetta and Kiku nodded. He started to spin a tale of events and what had happened. Well, we were in the hall, and Romano was shouting, and then Mr. Oxensiana came along and scolded him for his language. Elisabetta cut in. That man is scary, Kiku agreed. He sure is. Feliciano wondered out loud. What does he teach anyway? Home economics, Kiku answered. ... Okay, continue, Feliciano. I'm honestly not surprised he teaches home ec. That seems so Sweden. Okay, continue, Feliciano, said Elisabetta. I told him he was married to Tino, and then he began yelling how it was weird for 2 men to like each other, and I got mad, so I shouted at him and ran away, finished Feliciano. So, do you think it's weird? Elisabetta hugged him and dried his tears. Not at all, Philly. Love makes no distinction. Kiku was looking at his feet silently. Elisabetta asked, Romano perhaps isn't mature enough to understand it, right, Kiku? Huh? Kiku looked up at Elisabetta only to see a soccer ball fly straight towards them. Watch out! Yelled a familiar voice just before the soccer ball hit Kiku in the head. Elisabetta and Feliciano turned to him immediately. Hey, Kiku, are you okay? Feliciano asked with worry. The Japanese boy rubbed his head. I'm fine, it didn't hit me too hard. Kiku, I'm sorry, are you okay? Heracles came running across the field dressed in the school soccer uniform. Okay, I know where this is going. He's hurt and you gotta take him to the nurse's office and you're gonna have this lovely romantic scene where one's in the bed and one's okay. Romantic cliche alert. Elisabetta, Feliciano, and Kiku were a little bit shocked because they didn't think he could play sports with his passive personality. What, passive people can't play sports? Kiku, forgive me, I didn't mean to. He kneeled and hugged his friend while checking his head. Kiku just sat there with a gigantic blush spread across his face. Seemed like you have no bruises or cuts. I'm really sorry. Heracles apologized for the umpteenth time. Bae, he's all red. Maybe he's got the fever. Elisabetta cut in. I don't think... I'll take you to the nursery, said Heracles after kissing Kiku's head. Oh! Now the poor boy couldn't even speak. Heracles, get back here. Training hasn't finished yet. It was Coach Beierschmidt. That idiot, I can't stand him, Elisabetta complained. While he's right behind you. Heracles, we can take Kiku to the nursery if you want. It seems like that ass won't let you leave. Cock-blocked. Heracles replied, "Okay then." He looked Kiku right in the eyes and said, "I'll look for you later to see how you're doing." He stood up and walked back to the field where the white-haired bastard called him from. Even if he wasn't gravely injured, Heracles insisted taking Kiku home after he finished his training. Oh ho ho ho! Ooh ooh. I wish someone would care for me that way. They're so cute together. Although Kiku must do something about his shyness. Elisabetta rambled to Feliciano. They were sitting in their maths classroom whilst waiting for Mr. Byersmith to enter. There's someone like Mr. Edelstein, but he's not as expressive towards people as he is towards music, commented Feliciano. Don't encourage the pedophilia, Feliciano. Elisabetta blushed and gave her own little comeback. Says the one who fell for the emotionless math teacher. He's just a bit too serious, Elisabetta. I'm sure he is a nice person, defended Feliciano. After Mr. Byersmith entered the classroom, Feliciano blushed and Elisabetta giggled. The class passed with no particularly important events, other than Feliciano being awakened from his daydreaming by little paper balls Elisabetta threw at him. Well, I leave it here today. Leave your homework on my desk on your way out, said Mr. Byersmith. He walked towards the window to close the blinds. Feliciano, I know how you like the man, but the way you stare at him is if he were some kind of god, said Elisabetta as he put her homework on the teacher's desk. You don't know, he could be a Deutsuist. Feliciano did the same. That's not true, Elisabetta gave him a look. Perhaps I'm too much into him. As they were about to leave, Mr. Byersmith called, Feliciano, come here for a minute. Yes, sir. Feliciano turned to walk to the back of the classroom, but Elisabetta put a hand on his shoulder. Sorry, Feliciano, I can't wait for you today. I must get home early. We are having special guests over. Okay, then ciao, Elisabetta. She left, and Feliciano walked towards the desk, feeling as if he was going to meet a celebrity. You called me? Yes, Feliciano, I wanted to talk to you about the accessories. I talked to the principal, and it seems that we're not allowed to use the classrooms after school. I wanted to know if it wasn't any trouble for you that we would have it at my home, explained Ludwig. Oh, ho, ho, ho! As a big smile appeared on the little boy's lips. Absolutely not, Feliciano happily replied. I can talk to your parents about it, offered Mr. Byersmith. No, it's okay, I'll talk to my grandpa about it, Feliciano said. All right, here's my address. He produced a paper from his pocket. I'll be waiting for you at 4 p.m. Please be punctual. I do have other business to attend. Typical German man. Racists. I promise I won't be late. Ooh. Whilst eating dinner, Feliciano decided to tell his grandfather about his accessories lesson. He took a deep breath, put down his fork, turned to Arsenius and said, Grandpa, I'm attending accessories with... Arsenius stopped eating dinner. You are having problems with math again. I am, but Mr. Byersmith offered to help me. I think you can't lose this chance, Feliciano explained. Byersmith, you say? Perhaps he's related to an old friend of mine, Arsenius pondered aloud. Huh? Never mind. Do you want me to drive you there? Arsenius asked. No, it's okay. I'll take the bus, replied Feliciano. I don't want you being a cockblock, picking up his fork again and continuing to eat. All right then, Feliciano. Do your best, please. Arsenius looked at his other grandson. Romano, how are you doing at school? Romano, who had remained quiet until now, spoke for the first time. Everything is fine. He glanced at Feliciano, but he was just happily enjoying his dinner. That's not quite the answer I was expecting. I hope you're not getting in trouble because of your attitude again, said Arsenius like a worryful mother. Well, he's a worryful grandfather. Everything is fine, old man, replied Romano, who was getting rather annoyed at his grandfather's questioning. I hope so, or you're done with soccer, warned Arsenius with a meaningful tone. What? But why? Coach Byersmith says I'm doing great, Romano whined. Wait, he's also the coach? Arsenius was now curious. Wow, this man was so skillful. And he was related to the mystery friend of his? Feliciano laughed. No, Grandpa, they're brothers. Gilbert Byersmith is a gym teacher and Ludwig Byersmith is my math teacher. Romano commented, even if they are brothers, they sure are damn different. Arsenius laughed and said, You two should know all about that. Feliciano giggled, and Romano gave a small, barely noticeable smirk. Okay, now I'm sure they must be the grandsons of old Beilschmidt. They aren't too old, are they? Well, they do look young, but I don't know how old they are, replied Feliciano. Oi, fool! You should get ready or that German bastard will get mad at you. I'll give you a ride if you want. Romano was trying to compensate for making his brother cry. Feliciano smiled widely. Thanks, fratello. Feliciano left the table to go get ready for his accessories lessons. But didn't you say you were going to take the bus? I have a feeling Romano is going to be a cockblock later. That's really nice of you, Romano. Why the sudden change of mood? Arsenius was curious. Romano rarely acted this way. I'm not being nice, I'm just going out today anyways, replied Romano as he dropped his fork into his plate. His fork dropped into his plate. He was done. Is that so? Arsenius said with a smile, while taking another bite of pasta to his mouth. Ooh, ooh. Oh, what should I wear? Feliciano thought to himself. Wait, I'm behaving like a girl, but I should try to look good. Feliciano grabbed some black skinny jeans from the closet and one of his stylish shirts. Both Italians inherit their good taste in clothing from his grandpa. After putting the clothes on, he gave a look at himself in the mirror. He wasn't vain, but always being complimented about his looks from other people gave him confidence. Feliciano, I'm leaving now, shouted Romano from downstairs. I'm coming. He rushed to the stairs and ran to the front of the house where Romano was already waiting. Thanks for the ride, Romano. Whatever. And why are you dressed like that? It's not like you're going on a date, stated Romano. After all, it was just extra math lessons. Why he's dressed nicely about it? Wait a second. The driving age in Italy is 18, and you just moved here. How do you already know how to drive? Feliciano blushed. I know, but Mr. Beilschmidt is too formal, so I thought it would be all right if I at least changed my uniform. He got into the car and buckled his seatbelt up. I just don't get how your brain works, or if it does at all, Romano remarked. He started up the car and drove towards the destination. Once they got there, Feliciano waved goodbye to his brother and walked into the building. He was getting anxious now. He jumped at his cell phone, vibrated, but it was only a message from Elisabetta. He flipped open his phone to check what she had said. Subject, good luck, from Elisabetta, received 3:46 p.m. Good luck today and try to pay attention. Oh, he has an old phone. Feliciano blinked at the message. This girl and her ability to read people. Wait a second. Who has dinner at 3 o'clock? That is perhaps the most inaccurate thing about this story. Feliciano decided to look around for the elevator. He saw that the building was a beautiful building. After looking for a while, he found that it went up a few floors. Once he was in front of the door of the apartment, he was trembling. He looked at his watch. It read 3:50 p.m. He could use that time to calm himself, or it might better if he just knocked the door and finished with the tension. While arguing with his thoughts, the door opened. He jumped at the person who opened the door, Coach Beilschmidt. Oh, hi, you're the other Italian, Come inside. Gilbert opened the door a little bit wider. Thanks. The young Italian entered the room and was beholded with a neat, fancy apartment, something expected from Mr. Beilschmidt, but not from his brother. So, why are you here, buddy? Gilbert asked. It wasn't every day that the Italian came to their apartment. I came for accessories with Mr. Beilschmidt, replied Feliciano. He did mention it once or twice, Gilbert thought aloud before turning back to Feliciano. He just got back from the gym and is probably finished taking a shower, so I'll go call him. Oh, ho, 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 ho. He left the living room shouting, Oi, Ludwig, someone is looking for you. As Ludwig stepped into the room, Feliciano's eyes widened at the sight. No wonder why he's got that body. He must work out every day. Some of the tension that Feliciano had was being replaced by joy. I wonder how he looks working out. It must be... Ludwig appeared in the room, looking like he clearly had just left the shower. He had a towel over his shoulders. His hair was still wet and falling over his eyes. This made him look sexier. and he was wearing a tank top that showed off his perfectly built abs and sweatpants. When Feliciano thought he couldn't find him more attractive, he noticed his face, where his expression was still serious, yet looked more relaxed than in school. Feliciano was worried about his mouth being fully open, and was glad to be sitting. Other ways, his legs would be trembling. And boner. "Hello, Feliciano. Are you ready to begin now?" Ludwig asked. Yes. Feliciano was slightly anxious. After all, he was in a teacher's home. Aha, teacher's home. That is actually in the fanfiction. Ludwig led him to the study. There were tons of books inside, some trophies and other prizes on the wall. Everything was so perfectly arranged. "Have a seat, please." Ludwig motioned to a chair across the desk as he sat down. "Now, what are you having trouble with?" Feliciano took out his notebook and opened it. "Well, I'm pretty lost here and here too," he said, pointing at some equations with his finger. As he was examining what type of problems he was having trouble with, Ludwig felt that Feliciano was very nervous. "Calm down, maths isn't that scary." Feliciano gave him a little smile, which Ludwig returned, noticing. It lightened up Feliciano's heart. Ludwig began explaining how to solve such equations, but he noticed the boy wasn't getting many of the terms he used to explain. He made a short pause and began to explain again using simpler words. It was a few times after they both were having a more fluent chat. Feliciano was happy. He was now understanding everything, and being next to Ludwig made it all better. After a few equations, Gilbert entered the room. "Hey, Ludwig, you said you had to go to the college at 7. Feliciano looked at his cell phone. It was 6:20 p.m., then turned to Ludwig, who was making a face at his brother. "You never remember any of my appointments. What do you want this time?" Ludwig sighed. He knew something was up. Nothing. I just thought that as you're driving there, it won't be a problem if you drop me off by the way," Gilbert suggested. Ludwig sighed. "Damn, Gilbert's always thinking in himself." He apologized to Feliciano. "I'm afraid we are done for today, Feliciano." Ludwig felt a bit disappointed and didn't know why. "Hey, it's fine. I'll leave now then." Feliciano started to gather his things. He checked the time. "Hey, I'll be able to catch the 6:40 bus." Suddenly, Gilbert had an idea. "Hey, Ludwig, why don't we give the boy a ride?" "Sure, there's no problem with it," replied Ludwig instantly, which surprised himself. "Wait, what am I saying?" "I don't want to be a bother," Feliciano kindly refused, as he put the last of his things in a bag and zipped it up. "Not at all, buddy. Right, Ludwig?" Gilbert said while raising an eyebrow to the other German. Ludwig answered, a bit more cautious of his words. "It won't be a bother, Feliciano." Feliciano smiled. "Vi, grazie." "Oh, that smile again," thought Ludwig as he quickly snapped out of his thoughts. Soon after, the three men got into the car. During the trip, Feliciano giggled at how the brothers behaved. Even though Ludwig was supposed to be the younger, he was the one scolding his brother for his behavior. After a round of scolding, Gilbert turned to face Feliciano. "I hope he's not like this in school. I'm so sorry for you and all of your classmates." "Bruder, stop saying such things," Ludwig complained without taking his eyes off the road. Gilbert laughed loudly. He clearly enjoyed bothering his little brother. "We're here, Feliciano." Ludwig stopped the car in front of the Italian's house. "Grazie mille." "No problem," said Ludwig before his brother said, "Good night, Feliciano." He waved and ran into the house. "Well, Ludwig, want a good night kiss?" Gilbert teased while imitating Feliciano's Italian accent. Ludwig hit his brother in the head. "I told you to stop making stupid jokes, Gilbert." "Ouch, come on, Lud. Didn't you notice how that kid was all over you? It wouldn't be a bother. He is really cute. Aside, it's been a long time since you last dated someone." Gilbert received another stroke, the head this time harder. What was that sentence? "Calm down, Lord. Besides, you know what I'm saying is true." "I told you not to intervene in my personal life. I don't talk about Feliciano that way. I'm not like that Antonio fellow." Ludwig was clearly pissed off with Gilbert. "It's not bad that you like the boy. You're not too old for him, and I think that you'll make a great couple. Ludwig stopped the car and kicked his brother out of it. Hey, Ludwig, it was a joke. Come on, don't leave me here. I left my wallet in the seat, Ludwig. Woo. End of chapter 4.